Hello everyone, you're welcome back to Shabes online tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to find the transportation cost using vogel approximation method. And the problem on the board read, find the initial basic visible solution of the following transportation problem by vogel approximation method. And here is the destination. We have the source A, B, C demand and 1, 2, 3 supply. So before we can go further to solve this problem using vogel approximation method, the first thing we are going to check is whether this problem is a balanced or unbalanced. To check whether the problem is balanced or unbalanced one, if the summation of the supply is equal to the summation of the demand, we say that the problem is a balanced problem. Now let's check. If we add up 16 plus 21 plus 14 is going to give us 51. Then 17 plus 19 plus 15 is going to give us 51. So therefore, we say that this problem is a balanced problem. Now, to use vogel approximation method to find the total cost, the first step we are going to take is to create what? A row penalty and a column penalty. So we create a row penalty, another row penalty, then a column penalty. So we call this what? Column penalty, CP. This is column penalty, then we call this row penalty. Now to get the row penalty, it's going to be the difference between the small and the second smallest value in this cell. Now, what is the smallest number here? The smallest value here is 7 and the second smallest number is 9. Then we take their difference. 9 minus 7 is going to give us 2. Then the second row, the smallest number here is 6. Then the second smallest number is 11. 11 minus 6 is going to give us 5. Now, the third row, the smallest number here is 8 and the second smallest number is 9. 9 minus 8 is going to give us 1. So we are done with row penalty. Now, then we come down to column penalty. So we check, what is the smallest number here is 6. Then the second smallest number is 9. So 9 minus 6 is going to give us 3. Then we are here. The smallest number here is 9 and the second smallest number is 12. 12 minus 9 is going to give us 3. Now we are here. The smallest number is 7. The second smallest number is 8. 8 minus 7 is going to give us 1. Now we have successfully find the row penalty and the column penalty. The next thing we are going to do is to start our allocation from what? The maximum row penalty or a column penalty. Now we check. Out of this column penalty, we have 3, 3, 1. The row penalty is 2, 5, 1. Which one is the maximum? So the maximum value here is 5. Now we cycle 5. So we're going to start our allocation from this 5. This 5 is row penalty. So we go to the row of 5. So here are the value. So the first allocation is going to be on the least number in the row of 5. So the least number here is 6. So our first allocation is going to be in this cell. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to consider the supply and the demand correspond to this 6. So the supply correspond to this 6 is 21 and the demand is 17. Now, between this 17 and 21, which one is the minimum? 17 is the minimum. Then we supply 17. Then this place is going to be 0. Then 21 minus 17 is going to be 4. This place is going to be 4. So now that we supply the whole of 17 here, then we delete this 10 and we delete this cell. So the next thing we're going to do is to repeat the same thing. We create another row penalty. Then also similarly, we create another column penalty. Now we're going to do the same thing. Remember, we have deleted all these columns. So we are going to concentrate on these 2 columns and these 3 rows. Now we do the same thing. The smallest number is 7, then the second smallest number is 12. Then we take their difference. So the difference between 12 minus 7 is going to give us 5. Then we are here. The smallest number is 11, the second smallest number is 13. 13 minus 11 is going to give us 2. Then 8 and 9, if you take their difference, it's going to be 1. Then we are done with row. Now we come down to column. Remember, we are done with this column. So we come down to the column. 12, 13, and 9. The smallest number here is 9. The second smallest number is 12. 12 minus 9 is going to give us 3. Now we are here. The smallest number is 7. then the second smallest number is 8. When you take their difference, it's going to be 1. So we do the same thing. Then we find the maximum row or a column penalty. The column penalty, we have 3 and 1. Then the row penalty is 5, 2, and 1. So what is the maximum? The maximum here is also 5. Then we cycle this 5. So our next allocation is going to be the row on 5. So we have only 12 and 7 here. So our allocation is going to be on the least number, the minimum value, which is 7 here. So our allocation is going to be in this cell. So the next thing we're going to do is to compare the supply and the demand corresponding to this cell or this 7. So the supply is 16, then the demand is 15. So what are we going to do? The smallest one is 15. So we're going to allocate this 15. So this is going to cancel. Then 16 minus 15, this is going to remain 1. So now that we allocate this, the whole of this 15, we're going to delete the remaining number in this column. So we delete these two cells. So what is the next thing? Then as you can see, we have only one column now. We deleted the remaining element in this column and the remaining value also in this column. So it remains only this column. So how are we going to do? We find the column penalty. We're not going to find row penalty again. The column penalty, the smallest number here is 9. Then the second smallest number is 12. 12 minus 9 is going to give us 3 as well. So we have done with this. So now we cycle this because this is the only thing that remains. We cycle it. This is 3. So our next allocation is going to still be on this column. So what is the least number? The least number here is 9. So now we compare the supply and the demand correspond to this 9, which is what? 14. Then the demand is 19. So which one is the least one? 14. So we're going to supply the whole of 14 here. Then we delete this. Then 19 minus 14, this is going to remain what? 5. Now, we are not going to find any column penalty or row penalty again because it remains only 2 cells. Now, we're going to, our next allocation is going to be on the next least number, which is for 12. Then we compare the supply and demand correspond to this 12, which is what? 1. This place remain 1. Then this place remain 5. Now, which one is the least one? This is the least one, 1. Then we supply 1 here. We delete this. Then 5 minus 1 is going to remain 4. So this is going to remain 4. So the next allocation is going to be on the last one, which is for this cell 13. So what is, then we compare the supply and the demand correspond to this 13. So the supply is 4 and the demand is 4. Then we supply the 4. We delete this 4. We delete this 4. So do we have any cell left? No, we have done. So the next thing we're going to do is to find what? The transportation cost. And to get the transportation cost, what are we going to do? Is to multiply the cost by the allocated value. So this is the cost. We allocate value here. So we're going to start from here. 12 multiplied by 1 plus, then 7 multiplied by 15, then plus, then we allocate value here, 17 multiplied by 6, then plus 4 multiplied by 13, then plus, we allocate value here, 14 multiplied by 9, 14 multiplied by 9. So I think that is all. So the next thing is to do the multiplication and addition. 12 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 12, then plus 7 multiplied by 15 is going to give us 105, then plus 17 multiplied by 6 is going to give us 102, then plus 4 multiplied by 13 is going to give us 52, then plus 14 multiplied by 9 is going to give us 126. So if you add all this number together, it's going to give us what? Equal to 397. So therefore, 397 is the transportation cost using vogel approximation method. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.